news, events, and interviews with the Atlassian community's movers and shakers. Join our hosts, Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira guy Nissen, as well as the Jira amigos in the Peanut Gallery, as we sit down and discuss the latest going on in the Atlassian ecosystem. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life, the Jira Life chose us. So I get to say it this time, right? Hello, hello, hello.
You get to say it every time. You're just never there.
Okay, well that is true. I mean, I get to say it even though.
And also, I think
most of the time you won't hear me.
You might have missed the most critical part, which is you got to hit the live button.
Yeah, I just realized that, and then as I was reaching up there, all of a sudden it did, and then it was like, okay,
Summer, this is what we got you here. You're like the new producer. Ronnie is out. He went to go. I thought it was no audience for the debate. Like, what's he doing down there? He's sneaking in. Ronnie went to go sneak in, see if we can get into the debate.
Yeah, hopefully he's not. Hopefully he's not going to like crash that because Secret Service is there, of course, right? So that's.
You should make these in orange. Wonder what our logo will look like in orange. What do you think, Summer?
I think it would look okay, but I think you guys would be very bright on the screen. But if you went to live events with live people, you would really stand out, and that would.
We got the sombreros for that.
Yep, there you go. The sombreros and the orange shirts. That would
there you go, Rodney.
So if we get a phone call during the show, right, and it's from an Atlanta area code, we're not answering, right? We're just letting it go to voicemail,
Send Ed Gill over. He's down there.
It's true. It's true. He would probably call Ed first.
But would he? This is fun. Picking the guy who's not here. I guess it's better than you guys picking on the guy who's always here, and you still make fun of him. But Summer, you're here to not make fun of me today, right?
Totally, 100%, Alex. I will not make fun of you.
Summer, why don't we start off with who are you?
Who am I?
What is the meaning of life, if you can answer that one as well?
What is the meaning of life? You said you weren't going to drill me. That's a big one. I guess my meaning of life is trying to stay positive and be happy all the time, which is not exactly an easy thing to do, but staying positive in life is always good. But who am I? I am Summer Hogan. I work at CSAA Insurance Group, otherwise known as AAA Insurance. I have worked there for about 3.5 years. I'm a product owner, product manager. Most recently, I am now a product owner of a group of developers and QA analysts that are working on a new natural language understanding processor for our new IVR system using AI. It's super cool. Very technological, very advanced. I love AI, and so it's really cool that they gave me this opportunity to take on this new team. So that's really cool. And of course, I use Atlassian products every day of my life at work. And so I got started in the community. I think I was really thinking about this. I think it was back in 2016 when the community was called something like Answers maybe, or Answerers, or I don't remember what it was called, but it was not a community yet. And but I used Confluence and Jira, and I was so lost. I worked at McKesson at the time. I was so lost about how to use Jira and more about Confluence. And so as it evolved then into the community, then I became more like open in the community and talking to people and meeting new people and trying to answer questions. At the very onset of the Atlassian community, it was pretty basic. It's come a long way now, so for sure. And then when I started at CSAA, I basically started answering lots of questions. I got really heavily involved in the community, and then one of the community managers reached out to me and asked me to become a community leader. And so today I am an online community leader and a co-lead for the Phoenix chapter.
So how long have you been a online community leader?
Almost 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the same period of time. But you've had a lot more history with the Atlassian community ever since. You mentioned about being like an Atlassian answerer, or at least participating in the forums.
Yep.
And helping answer questions. So how long was that?
Since, I think, if my brain is serving me correct, since 2016. That's when I started. That's when I had my first question. I started at McKesson Corporation. They had just purchased Jira, which I think back then maybe that was version 6, maybe.
Yeah, I think like 5 or 6.
Yeah, and it was very to me, it was very foreign to me. I'd never used a system like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so foreign to me. I don't know how to use it. And back then there were no creators like you folks. There were no people out there that really helped you with it. And so I struggled. And so I remember there was a link in Jira somewhere and it said, do you have a question? Go here and ask a question. And I went and asked, and then I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then eventually the community came out.
You didn't print out the 600-page manual?
No, I did not do that.
I did.
I tried to use Control F back then and like search through it and find my answers, and it was so difficult. It was crazy because
I still have like a relic of like, I should probably, that's what I should have done. I should have gotten like my 600-page instructions on how to use Jira Confluence signed by like Mike and Scott.
Yeah, words to the wise, Alex. What I did for my 600-page was I just got the PDF, and then I just took said PDF to Kinko's, or these days it's like FedEx Office, or the UPS store, and got them to print it on their printers, and they could double side it too.
Well, I know. I had my workplace employer print mine out back then.
Oh well, there you go.
It was a work-related activity. I needed to know how to use Jira.
Did you actually read it?
No. I was gonna say, can't see all my books, but then I'm looking at myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in Rodney's office.
It's to have it on the shelf, and I could point it to you right now where it'd be like right back there.
Well, I do keep it with the rest of my binders. I've been meaning to read it. I don't know how relevant it would be nowadays.
I think it's completely
irrelevant.
It's still light years better than whatever documentation Atlassian has today. Because I don't know about you guys, but I can't. I need sequential documentation. I need it to turn like a book, and I hate the websites where it's like you're reading and every other word is a link to a new article. And I'm like, I don't want to jump around. I want to read in sequential order and know what I want.
I also love the Atlassian documentation. You get to the bottom and it has the "was this helpful?" question, and then you're like, no, it wasn't, because you didn't finish it. You have to go somewhere else to read more of it. So no, it was not helpful.
And then the part that blows my mind, right? Because I use Jira all day long. And then you go and like look at an article like automation rules, and there's like 7 sections. And I'm like, there's no way you can cover the whole power of automation in just 7 little sections. And it's like, they're like teasers, really. That's all they are. That's all that documentation is, just a teaser. And then no examples. The whole like API documentation, I try to read through. I'm like, one example, guys. Just show me one little step on how to actually invoke an API. Like, I don't know anything about APIs. Where do I even go? I've been doing their accreditation thing through the partner recently, and I'm reading through all the instructions, and I finish the end of the instructions of how to jump onto the virtual consoles and whatnot. And my first step is to now do the migration for the data center, from data center to cloud. And I go, step 1, log into the system. I'm like, I'm frantically looking through everything that I've covered for the last 2 hours. How the heck do I even open up Jira? Like they skipped over the most vital step, because it was like, here's how you actually log into Jira.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Like they show you how to log in through the console. They show you how to do all the command line stuff. At no point do they like tell you got to click this or copy this URL, put that in the URL, like take this or do that. Like they just went from a useless step to a critical step, and then missed the step that tells you how to get to the critical step.
That's not helpful.
So Sean brings up the point. If you start adding in examples, that's too much stuff to update when when they change it.
Well, then maybe don't change it.
Yeah, that's going to be a very large job trying to keep the documentation updated. Although in their documentation, I thought it was helpful when they added the drop down at the top where you could select the version that you're on. So I think that's really helpful because they basically kept all the historical versions. I don't think they go back that far, but they did keep all the historical versions of the documentation, and then they added that Dropbox at one time, and I think that's very helpful.
But what's interesting is Jira or Confluence is a knowledge sharing app, right? Great for creating documentation. And you would think like the way they put out their team playbooks that Atlassian would have like a, here's how we update our documentation to keep it alive strategy.
That would be helpful.
Don't they? Isn't it called Confluence?
Well, if they have that problem solved, then why wouldn't they give us examples then?
Yeah, help us out, Atlassian.
Alex wants to be on server again. I don't know. I've been just touching this whole thing just this last couple of days of logging into servers and stuff. I'm like, there's a reason why I don't like being a Jira admin on on-prem versions.
So back to Summer. Sean has a question, and I'm kind of on that snarky vein as well, and that is, doesn't AAA, your present employer, and even though you're in the wrong part of AAA, don't they still do triptychs?
What's triptychs?
What's a triptych?
I was going to answer your question, Sean, and then I was like, I don't know what triptychs is.
Oh my goodness! Am I going to be showing my Gen X?
I have no idea what a triptych is. I thought it was like a TikTok or something.
Okay, so once upon a time, before GPS, before having a map app or having something in your car, you would go to your AAA. And if you were a member and say, you know what, I am going to visit from Phoenix my buddy Alex. And what they would do is they would put together the journey, right? They would kind of identify the major roads, and you would kind of flip through those roads. They put them together into kind of like a binder. A ring binder thing, like almost like a loose leaf notebook or something like that, and you just kind of flip through them as you got past a certain point. And so, yeah, completely paper, completely manual, and basically taking you from point A to point B.
The only reason I know the answer to this is because Michael William answered it in the chat. And apparently, yes, they will still do this for you if you ask them. So I'm assuming now they do it like you have on your screen digitally, and they put it together and they send it to you in a digital fashion. I'm pretty sure they're not going to do the 3-ring binder anymore with the paper. I'm pretty sure that's not a thing anymore. But yes, but I did not know what this was. So also, just so you all are aware, I work for AAA Insurance, and AAA Insurance is actually a company on its own, but we share the AAA branding, and AAA sells our insurance and we sell their memberships. So we have a great cohesive relationship there with all of the AAA clubs. AAA is a very complicated ecosystem. Even if you asked me to explain it to you, I probably could not explain it to you in and out. Alex is on a roll here.
Alex is on a roll.
Yeah, totally. He's on a roll now.
I'm not a big fan of AAA.
He's going down a rabbit hole. I do have to say I am a member, have been a member for like years and years and years. Haven't picked up the insurance though. So
Wait, you can be one without the other?
Yes, of course. Yeah. You can have a membership and not have insurance. You can have insurance and not have a membership, although if you do have a membership and you get insurance, you do get a pretty good discount.
What do you need the membership for?
The membership is for roadside assistance mainly, and for all the other services AAA provides, like travel. They provide travel agencies. They provide your places where you can go get your car fixed if you get into an accident, auto body shops. They provide tons of services, AAA passport services. So that's AAA. AAA insurance,
I got a
CSA.
magic word here on the Jira Life.
Totally. We sell insurance in different forms, personal lines, auto, home, personal umbrella. And then we also have a commercial division that sells insurance for commercial companies like Lyft and Uber.
And Michael brings up a good point. There's also you also get discounts. Membership does allow you to take discounts at most major hotels, and not only hotels but also points of interest. Like I know I could like when I visited SeaWorld in San Diego, they took my AAA membership and provided me a discount.
You want to see what they didn't take me?
This was before I knew you, Alex.
Well, I guess you can't go again, Bob, without taking Alex.
Yeah.
Also, another really good thing about a AAA membership, if you do not take advantage of this, their movie tickets are literally a couple of dollars to go see a movie, whereas movies are getting really expensive now at theaters. So take advantage of that.
Yeah, I need to do that. I used to
Talk about it.
I think I just recently got rid of the paper atlas in my car.
Can you even buy those still?
You can go to Barnes and Noble. They still have them.
Yeah.
There's still Barnes and Noble?
Yes, there's still Barnes and Noble.
Dude, man, I better find one.
I've considered signing up for AARP. I'm not sure if I meet that 55 yet. So
Is someone calling you old, Bob?
yeah, that would be my boss, who's even older than me. So
That's messed up.
That's awesome, Matt. You go 30 years now. That's cool. Very cool. I feel like AAA should pay me some money for this advertisement I'm giving them.
well, we're going to talk to you more about what you do for CSAA, because some of the things that you picked up on and some of the things that you mentioned really sound interesting, like applications of AI. I don't know how much you can talk about it, but how much do the Atlassian tools help with what you're doing as far as planning that kind of product that you want to release for AAA?
Oh, they help a lot, especially Jira. I am a customer of Jira, so I'm not an admin. I am an actual customer. I'm a user of Atlassian products, and we use Jira every single day. We use Align for all of our PI planning for SAFE, and we use Jira for pretty much everything that we do for stories and sprints and releases, and we use Confluence for all of our documentation. So it's heavily used. It's actually the only thing that we really do use.
Okay. So one cloud subscription that you make sure you get your money's worth.
Totally. Yeah.
How many users are
Align, I mean, Align is really difficult to use until you get to know how to use it. Jira is not so much. I find Jira very user-friendly compared to Align. And Align is it's very cumbersome to use. But once you get to know how to use it, then there are so many helpful things in Align as far as reporting goes.
Right. And even Atlassian themselves, they've kind of mentioned with Jira Align is not everybody has to touch Jira Align. It's really only a certain set of roles if you are in that particular situation where you're looking at doing team of teams type of work. So sometimes the Scrum Master, sometimes the PO, in SAFE, definitely would be chief scrum master or the release train engineer or RTE, and also the product management role in SAFe, who's or essentially like the chief PO, if you want to think of it that way. So not necessarily developers at team levels. They would be still in Jira.
Correct. Yeah, that's how we do it. So we call it the Art PM, Art Product Manager. And the RTAs, the product managers, yes, exactly. They all use Align to create epics and set up the PI plan. Our Scrum engineers also use it, but they really only use it to track risks and dependencies, and then PI objectives. So yeah, Align really does help. I mean, I don't see us doing SAFe and PI planning without Align. Just in Jira, it would be very, very difficult. And yeah, Michael said, what would you have me do to the story in Align? So I don't know that there's necessarily any changes, Michael, that I would make to the story necessarily. But yeah, we can definitely talk about that. Michael, for those of you who don't know, he's the CSAA Atlassian admin. So he's my admin. So
okay.
Oh, you got a fan in the audience?
Like, aren't you, Michael?
They didn't tell us you brought fans.
I brought tons of. did bring fans. I'm trying to help you guys out and bring you guys some more subscribers. So yeah,
Oh, look at that.
and like Michael says, 1,600 Jira, 1,400 Confluence, and 200 Align. So yeah, you can see our Align numbers are a lot lower than the Jira and
That's
Confluence.
because Align requires you to like give up a kidney to buy it.
I wouldn't know about that, but I have heard things about that.
Yeah.
Well, if you go get Align, just be ready to give up a kidney.
Before Michael deletes any more posts, I just want you give him that embarrassing moment that he is waving back and
look at it from Michael's perspective. Like now he knows a celebrity. He's gonna go
well,
back
maybe
and
now
forth,
he
he's
is a
like,
celebrity too. I mean, you know, he's now internet famous.
well, we may need to bring him in as a featured guest, though.
Yes, there you go.
I think that might have to be something.
Then he'll be able to wave without like.
I'm sure he would appreciate that. He does come to all the Phoenix Ace events, so.
Was he there last month?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, Michael, you could have come up and taken a group picture.
He asked Rodney the question about Align. And remember we were talking about AI and he's like, is AI just automatically turned on in Jira and Confluence? Remember that whole discussion that we had about that? He was the one that asked the question.
The whole heat was just overwhelming me.
It wasn't even hot then yet, Alex. You come now you'd be saying that. It's 100.
I like you too much, Alex, to say come on down. There are certain times of the year where it's like I only invite people I don't like to come now at this time of year.
I don't know, man. That Memorial Day is pushing it. Next time, let's do Easter or something.
Yeah, we have to have virtual events in the summertime. I don't think people would want to come to Phoenix for events in the summer. I meant in the winter time. So like Mark Kruth, we asked Mark Kruth to come and he's like in October or maybe November, but definitely not in the summer.
Poor Mark Kruth.
So
I had him on recently. We were talking Xbox the whole time.
So this brings an interesting pivot. So let's kind of talk about you've been so for 2 years you've been doing the online community leader. You probably have a hat like I do with the
microphone.
Black cap with the 2-year logo on the brim.
I guess I'm about to get one of those.
You are, yeah. You probably are going to get one of those. You should be getting one of those.
Will they make these hats? Is it a yearly thing?
These are like annual gifts.
Really?
Yeah. So this is my 2-year gift.
And Bob got a 2-year pin because he wore it on his lanyard at team.
Mm-hmm.
And I wore my 1-year pin on my lanyard at team.
You guys are so cool.
Well, thank you.
What other community out there treats their leaders like that?
I don't know of one.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Bob, look, if I did, I'd be over there right now.
So talk to me, Summer, about your journey, why you wanted to kind of help us all out in the Phoenix one.
Sure. Yeah. So I saw that the Phoenix ACE, when I got involved and became a community leader and then checked out the Phoenix ACE, I realized that there had only been a couple of events since COVID. And so I went to one, my very first event, and it was at ISOS. And I was so impressed, and I learned a lot of stuff. And I also met a bunch of new people. And I was very impressed by the event. And so I realized that at that time, there was only one ACE leader, and he was doing it pretty much all by himself. And so I reached out to him, and Bob, I think I reached out to you first and asked you the idea of, hey, how do you feel about us getting involved, since we're heavily involved in the online community? How do you feel about getting involved in the Phoenix chapter? And so we reached out to Derek, who is the ACE leader of Phoenix, and he said, yeah, I will definitely take the help. And then shortly after that, Josh joined us.
Yep.
And then shortly after that, Alex came off of hiatus and he came back. So now it went from having one ACE leader to having 3 ACE leaders and 2 co-leads. So, but yeah, I reached out.
What's the difference between a co-lead and a leader?
There's really not, from what I understand from the community managers, there's not a big difference, but the ACE leaders are more responsible for making sure that the events happen and doing all of the reimbursement and doing all of the money part of it and organizing. And then the co-leads are kind of, I look at it like Bob and I are co-leads. We're kind of like the assistants to the ACE leaders. Mm-hmm. But the main reason that I reached out is because I personally wanted to go to more events. I was like, hey, I want to go to more events. So if it's going to take me getting involved to go to more events, I'm all for that. I would like to contribute, and I really want to have more events. So, and now we've had quite a few since then.
Yeah, and we're still doing it. I think one of the things that is kind of helping me out is, at least with the Phoenix ones, is so one of the things I do here on the Jira Life is I book people. I twist their arms, and I get people like you and Rachel Wright from last week, and other people, to see if they would agree to come on and do these things. Well, I'm just extending those skills out to get people into doing like in-person events for Phoenix. And so, right now Mark is on my list. Ed Gale is on my list. And so, we'll see who else we can get into Phoenix. I got Rodney and Alex in, so.
You did. That was awesome. That was amazing.
What he didn't tell you was, he was like, somehow the conversation came about like, hey, Alex and Rodney, you guys should come to Phoenix. And then Bob was like, well, you got to apply to come to Phoenix. And I went to Josh, and I was like, Josh, why is Bob making this so exclusive? He was like, what the heck is Bob talking about? You can come to Phoenix any day you want to come. I'm like, Bob's making it look like I got to go to like hoops and flames and fires and all kinds of stuff that you guys got to like get together and talk.
Well, yeah, okay. So maybe the infamous hoops were, do you have a pulse? Do you want to go to Phoenix?
Those are quite some hoops, Alex.
You got to add a third one in there. Can you sustain triple-digit weather?
There was no triple-digit weather when you were.
It was 107, 108. I've never been so hot in my life.
You just thought it was 107.
My Tesla said it was like 150.
150.
Okay, so you're telling me the thermometer, the thermometers in your Tesla need to be adjusted?
No, the thermometers in your region of the world need to be readjusted. You know what? Can they lie to you? Can they like kick off 10 degrees and just like it's all psychological? Can you imagine if somebody went around Phoenix and just like dropped everything by 10 degrees?
That would be amazing, and they're trying to do that in Phoenix, actually.
Like, what kind of mental effect would that have on you?
Yeah, they're trying to like make these cooling sidewalks that they're putting down in downtown Phoenix, and
Right,
they literally don't heat up, And they say that they have cooled the city down by like 12 degrees in the summertime.
Right.
Like,
Also, the really ultra white paints that they're kind of.
It is white, yeah. I just saw a picture of it. I didn't really investigate it, but I thought it was pretty cool. And I was like, bring that my way.
Right. And then also they're also growing a lot of shade trees. So
I
Yeah.
just love your cacti.
Oh, the cacti are amazing. A lot of people say that when they come here. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's cactus everywhere. I'm like, you're in Arizona. Of course there's cactus everywhere. They're like,
Yeah, but we have ugly
on
cactus.
the streets. I'm like, yeah.
We have our cacti are ugly. Your guys are like, they're like little characters. Like each one has like their own little like personality.
They point in different directions, and some of them point at you, and yeah, they're really cool. I like the ones that form the hearts, and
Do
then
they?
pictures.
form
I
hearts?
saw one the other day when I went to my allergy clinic. I was like, oh, look at the heart cactus.
Jira should re-update their logo to be a cactus.
That would be cool.
I don't know how many cactuses or cacti are in the Australian outback or near Sydney. So
They should have picked the spider then. They should have just called it like, they should have renamed Jira to be. I'm surprised they don't pick like their spiders as their code words for their products. That's so many deadly spiders.
got to wait for the next product.
Maybe they should get a Jira line logo. All the
That's
other Atlassian products have logos, and then Jira line doesn't have one.
I thought it did.
Not that I've seen. I'm
gonna have to like go through like old QuizWiz episodes because I'm sure if there was if there were a Jira line logo, Sajid would have made that into a question, and I'm sure I would have gotten it wrong.
Probably.
What was it? My customer success manager, as soon as I came back from Teams, she's like, "Hey, word on the street is that the new Robo logo looks like the Walmart logo." And I'm thinking about it, like, it does look like the Walmart logo.
I thought that too. Very similar. At least it's not yellow, but
Also, I was on the phone yesterday or 2 days ago with somebody from not from Atlassian, but somebody has access to Robo, and I'm looking at it for the first time. I'm like, pretty sure I'm going to have to cut this part out of the video because I'm pretty sure it's not public yet. And he's like, maybe we should talk to somebody who knows. But I got a teaser. I got a teaser at Robo, so it looks promising.
awesome.
What's next on the agenda? Bob says I don't even read it.
Well, we could do one of two things. We could kind of pivot to.
Wait, did we get to the end?
Huh?
Did we
We're
get
not
to
gonna
the
pivot
end?
to the end. We've got other things. We don't have the end yet. It's only been 33 minutes. We're I don't know if we're obligated to stay the full hour, but Rodney will beat us if we don't. So, and Sean is still doubting the existence of a script, and I'm here to tell Sean that yes, there is a script. So, you can't see it yet, Sean. Well, unless you come on as a guest, then you can see.
He doesn't like to come on as a guest. Although I had him. We had a pretty good conversation.
So the question that I have, I mean, I've got another question for you, Summer, or we could do a quick quiz whiz, or are you smarter than a Jira admin talk?
Whichever you prefer.
Wait, I thought we wanted to talk about Summer's being a community leader that is not an admin.
That's the question I was going to ask. Let's go with that. So, Summer, you have an interesting perspective as a community leader, both online and as a co-lead for Phoenix, in that you look around at most of the community leaders. They're admins. They are consultants like me that work for partners, or they work for marketplace partners. You're in a unique spot where you work for a customer of Atlassian, and B, you're not an admin, you're a user. So your day-to-day is really more, I don't want to say limited, but you have that, you have kind of a persona that I certainly don't have, because there's like admin superpowers that I kind of can use to cheat through, right? So how does that, being being an employee of an Atlassian customer, and being somebody that is not not an admin.
Aren't we all employees of Atlassian customers?
Well, yep. How does that shape your perspective in both being an online community leader and also like how you want to spread the word in Phoenix?
Yeah, this is a good question. I really do find that there are pros and cons to it, actually. So the pros to it obviously are I can relate to our members. So while a lot of community members are, the community members, not the.
I thought you were talking about the triptychs people members.
No, the members of the Atlassian.
Okay, so not the AAA members.
No, not the AAA members. I can sort of relate to them too, I guess, since I'm a AAA member. But I can relate to the community members, I think, more, because a lot of the community members are not admins, and a lot of them are users, just like I am. So sometimes it's difficult, though. There are some cons. Sometimes I go into the community to answer questions, and a lot of them I don't even know what they're asking, because I'm not an admin and I'm not really in that space. I have started taking some of the live learning sessions for Jira Admin, just so I can kind of get an idea.
Who teaches those? Anyone you know?
What's that?
Who teaches those? Anyone you know?
Just like the people that are, on the community, I try to like reach out and try to learn more about being an admin. Alex, I watched one of yours. I think there was a couple of other ones. I think I watched one of Robert Keene's also. So yeah, I've been trying to watch some of these live learnings, and I'm fully promoting the live learnings on the Atlassian learning, because I want to know what it's like to be an admin and be able to answer some of these questions.
Why?
But I also find why, because I want to know everything. But I also find
that being a cloud admin is significantly better than being a on-prem admin.
I've heard both ways.
The fact that I don't have to worry about a database at any point in my day is a beautiful thing. The fact that it took me 10 minutes to remember how to root into a directory is another great thing for me.
Yeah. So so there's pros and cons to it. But I also think that I have a unique perspective in the leader space with community leaders. And I get a lot of community leaders coming and talking to me about being a user, being a customer, and using Atlassian tools every day at work. So I spend almost my whole workday in either Jira or Confluence, and sometimes both at the same time. And I'm constantly making Confluence whiteboards, and I'm constantly creating stories and, doing all things in Jira and Confluence. And I know Jira and Confluence so well from a customer perspective that I'm also kind of a SME at CSA, and a lot of people come to me. And then, of course, yes, Michael, my day is also spent bothering Michael sometimes. Sometimes I just can't figure it out. So I have to go to Michael and ask him for his advice or for his help. So, or I make a mistake and then he has to fix it for me. But yeah, I think I have a unique perspective of being a user. I use these products all day, every day, and I have a lot of experience using them. And I think I can share my experience a lot in the community and with others.
I mean, that's kind of interesting the way that you kind of say that, because I hear that from Alex all the time, how he spends an inordinate amount of time inside of Jira, and you do too, but in a different space. And so that doing that gives you a certain muscle memory to the point where you actually can become a SME. And Alex has that. Alex has that too. So.
Yeah, I feel like
I'll get it from you, Bob.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty big SME at my company. And then when we started using Align, I thought, okay, at that point, I was a product manager. So I was creating epics and doing PI planning and those kind of things in Align. And so I thought, I'm going to learn how to use this tool. Like, I'm going to try to be a SME on this tool. And then they created an Align user group at my company for people to go to those people and get help from Align because it was brand new to our organization. And so I joined the user group, and I was kind of an Align SME as well. So
How
yeah.
cool would it be for you to create like a guide on how to use Jira, but like in a map type of thing?
The Jira Align triptych. There we go.
That would be cool. I don't know that I have time for such a project, Alex, but that would be cool.
Let's have Mike do it. It looks like Mike's got a lot of time.
Mike doesn't have a lot of time on his hands because, like you said, I'm always bothering him.
Yeah, but just bother him with that extra detail.
There you go.
Mike
was pretty pivotal in our him and another trainer that we have. They were pretty pivotal in us using Align and being able to use Align. They put together training for us, and I'm sure it was not an easy job to put together training for a product that Atlassian had purchased from another company and didn't have a lot of documentation out there on Align. So kudos to Michael for putting that together for us and really helping us out.
And for donating his kidney.
Totally, 100%. Yes.
Well, it's not Michael's. It's not Michael's kidney. It's it's CSAA's kidney, and
Yes.
They must be selling a lot of triptychs. So.
All those triptychs that they sell. I had no idea that AAA did that many things. I thought they just went like, jumped your car or helped you get out of your car.
I will tell you that being a member and having them jump my car is quite a valuable service. And yes, I am gonna do one small complaint about the Arizona heat, and that is car batteries that are warranted for 5 years really last for 3 years in Phoenix. So there were times where I'm in the parking garage and I hear the and it's like, okay, I'm calling AAA.
Yeah, they'll come to your house and sell you a new battery. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's a great service. And it's cheaper really than AutoZone is, to be honest with you. So, and they also give you a warranty. And of course, like Bob said, you're never going to pass the warranty in Phoenix, but yeah. Oh, and what Michael said, yeah, the other person I referenced, her name is Terry, and she actually did donate her kidney to someone. It's just irony, I guess, but it is true.
I was totally not trying to pick on the other person.
Totally not. Maybe you read my mind or something, Alex, and pulled that story out of my head. I don't know.
I have that effect on people.
Yeah, Alex conspicuously walks really, really quickly past the Jira Line booth at Team. So
Whereas I stopped and I was like, "Do you guys have an hour? Because I could spend 2 hours with you." And they're like, "Here's some bags."
Get out of our face. Jira Line is that mystery that I've always been so curious about, but
I think Jira Line is one part with the history of Atlassian and how they're trying to be the tool for agile development. When scaling agile started to become popular, that kind of caught Jira off. It really took them back, because if you look at Jira, it's meant to be consumed by a team. Well, that's great, but what happens when you have teams of teams, right? What happens if you have an agile release train, and how are you gonna understand and set up and track
all you have is a train wreck at that point.
Huh?
All you have is a train wreck at that point.
Well, yeah. And so you need to you could do it with add-ons or apps, and then there was a company called AgileCraft that created a tool that was essentially what you needed to do if you were implementing SAFe, if you were implementing the Scaled Agile framework. And Jira was not having much luck with their quote unquote marketplace app, which was Portfolio.
I remember Portfolio.
Yes.
But the part that I don't get then is
Yeah.
why does it cost $85,000 roughly for a 90-day? They set it up for you.
Because it's meant, think of it this way, it's meant for big enterprises. It's really meant for when you are looking at setting up something for a team of teams. And if you want to follow the SAFe model, the smallest the smallest part of that team of teams is the agile release train. That's in SAFe, that's up to 125 people. And and if you're kind of stretching it, that's easily 200 people.
I don't know. One day I'll use it when I can get my hands on it. You gave it to me recently. No, I haven't had a chance to touch it.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
I was interviewing for Atlassian 2020, either the end of 2021 or early 2022, and they're like, "You got any Jira Line experience?" I'm like, "Do you?" Probably not the best answer to give during an interview.
Probably not, Alex, but good point, though.
Good point.
The answer is probably no. I know very few people on the community. I noticed that the Jira Align group on the community is very lacking in content. I know very few people that
There's no content out there, period.
That's the thing. Yeah. I mean,
and I can't even get my hands on it to.
There's not a lot
to do. But I can't even get my hands on it to do content because I don't have 85K sitting around. Sean,
well, I gave you
want to sponsor.
I gave you the out for that. The one Atlassian instances allow you to.
That was
so your excuses are. This is just like studying for an ACP exam or something like that. Your excuses are kind of starting to wear thin. But there are some.
Walk over to him and smack him upside the head for me.
see, I can say these things and be as brazen because I'm in Phoenix, and there's.
But Summer's in Phoenix too, and she's just an arm reach away. How far are you guys from each other?
Not too far. I live in Gilbert, and Bob, you live in Scottsdale, right?
I'm in North Scottsdale. I'm in Phoenix next to North Scottsdale, so I'm like on the other side of the valley.
It'd probably take me like 45 to 50 minutes to drive to Bob.
Well, yes. Gilbert out there.
Yeah, he lives north. I live east. It's a big valley out there.
Yep.
I don't understand why you guys have two loops.
There's three actually.
There's three. There's 101, the 202, and the 303. You missed one. Now I just blew your mind.
It's like, have you ever been to Silicon Valley, like San Jose area?
Yeah.
They have the 80, the 880, the 680, the 280. My poor soul that only caught that they need to get on an 80. God knows which 80 they need.
I guess that's like Phoenix. They're like, take the loop, but no one ever says that. So I think people always specify. And they go different directions in loops around the valley.
Well, at least you can't get lost, right? Like you'll eventually end up in the same spot.
Well, and the good thing about Arizona, or at least the valley, Phoenix Valley, is that it's on a grid. Mm-hmm. It's not like Los Angeles or San Diego. It's actually on a grid where they start at Central and they go up in streets, and going this way it's avenues, and then they have streets that go the other way. So it's on a grid, and it's really not that, it's hard to get lost here.
What is this one positive thing for Phoenix?
Okay.
Okay. Summer did not like that one. Okay.
There's a lot of positive things about Phoenix. But
give me another one.
Give you another one. Oh, Sun Devil football. There you go. Arizona State University. There's another.
Is less than UCLA football, less than USC Trojan football.
Yeah, we're not in a division together anymore.
Who couldn't keep up?
That is totally true. That is a true statement. I'm still a fan, though. I'm a lifelong fan.
So I am going to break away for a few things, a few commitments. The first of which is I'd like to talk about Sajit and Are You Smarter Than a Jira Admin? Basically, he's starting out this new series. First series is the first episode is actually tomorrow. And I'm going to be making an appearance there as the co-host with Sajit. No question this week. We're actually done with the questions, and he's locked them up, so I don't have access to those questions anymore. Just a few
only
tips.
Had 2 questions, and they didn't want to give away the secret sauce.
Yeah, he didn't want to give away the secret sauce, and it was actually 3 questions. We've done 3 questions.
Really?
And so some last minute.
Tomorrow.
What's that?
That's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. The first show is tomorrow. 7 a.m. Pacific time. Sajit is the host. I am the co-host. This little slide is the.
Wait, when did you change?
What's that?
When did you go through a wardrobe change there?
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to find the timestamp. But there are a few resources. These resources are available when you are studying for the really for the certifications as well. Don't look at these as for just a quiz show. You'll see there that there are URLs for Atlassian University. There's also URLs for live learning, of which Alex does a mighty fine, some mighty fine shows for that, especially for introducing Jira software, and also getting into being a Jira admin. And then
we're changing them up in July.
Yep.
I'm getting rid of the beginner one.
Yes, you are. And so then also is the Atlassian community, where Summer answers questions as well as I do from time to time, as well as Sean and Matt and Andy that are on the show. Now, so this leads up to the first challenge tomorrow, June 28th. There are currently, last I heard, there are over 365 RSVPs for this, and I will tell you that come see if you can see if you can prove your mettle, see if you have what it takes, and not only is it for bragging rights and glory, there are also prizes involved. There are certification vouchers available. There are gift cards available. There are also badges in the Atlassian community available to those that make it to the top of the leaderboard. But wait, there's more. You could also RSVP for the second challenge. And that challenge is coming up in July 26th. And this time, the co-hosting is Online Andy and our very own Jeremigo, Andy Gladstone, as well as the Quizmaster himself, Sajit Nair. But slight theme change. Instead of being Are You Smarter Than a Jira Admin? It is Are You Smarter Than a Confluence Admin? So for July, right now they have about 100 people RSVP'd for that. So
We can tell Andy's really hyped up for.
I think Andy is hyped up for that. He's
Fun. I can imagine Andy pulling the bomber moment with confluence.
And Sean is asking no Trello. All I can say about that is just you wait, because there might be something coming available with Are You Smarter Than a Trello Admin?
There's such a thing as a Trello admin?
I would think so, because I had a client, and I had to help that client perform some Trello admin duties. So I got paid for doing consulting on Trello admin. So yes, there are Trello admins out there.
Blows my mind. Learn something new every day.
You guys should bring Brittany in. She'll speak to this Trello admin thing that you guys are speaking of.
Uh-oh. Somebody woke up Brittany.
Uh-oh.
I mentioned her. She's like, "Look, did you say my name?"
Your resident Trello voices have been in a meeting with the... Okay, good. Well, at least maybe she hasn't heard all about... It should come no surprise to Brittany that I'm anti-Trello. Great. As long as you can't hear what you're saying.
Of course you can hear what you're saying. It's just on a delay.
But she has the meeting up, and she's in another meeting, so she's not really listening.
But if she has YouTube up as well, then she's hearing what we're saying.
Good. See, she can't hear.
Okay. With that, speaking of questions, it is now time for the quick Quizlet. And Summer, you've seen enough of these that you know what the quick Quizlet is all about, I hope.
Yep.
5 questions. 5 questions. Some are A versus B. Some are short answer. Basically, we want your first impression as your answer, and you get a chance to explain it.
Okay.
Right.
Especially if I don't like your answer.
I will say that as a perk of membership, some of these answers were chosen by our Jeremigos. So Sean chose a question and Andy Gladstone chose a question. So they really wanted to hear what your answers were going to be on these. All right.
Don't let me down, Summer. And face on.
Question number 1. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Okay.
Definitely like Star Wars better. Although I give a nod out to my belated husband. He loves Star Trek, but I love Star Wars. And I just started the new series on Disney Plus last night.
Okay. All right. Andy's keeping score here.
Nice, Andy.
All right. So this question was chosen by our Jeremigo Sean Doyle. Which sci-fi movie antagonist would you want to fight? Zombies, robots, or dinosaurs?
I'm going to go with robots. Number 1, I'm scared of zombies, like terrified. I cannot watch zombie shows. I'm terrified of them. Dinosaurs sound impossible to fight, so I'm going to pick the robots.
Okay.
You can just
Also,
buy them,
I'm
right?
a technologist, so maybe I could just outsmart them.
Or an EMP. Something.
There you go.
Throw them across a river of water. Go down and it can't get me. Until they fly over the water.
All right. Number 3, and it seems appropriate given that Brittany's in the audience. Jira or Trello?
There's only one right answer, by the way, on this one.
I'm going to have to go with Jira. Just
There we
because
go.
I know Jira very well, and I don't know Trello very well. Although, Brittany, I did read your book, and no offense, but yeah, I'm going to have to go with Jira because
Brittany's got like this uphill battle.
all the time.
And Andy is really like he's
I didn't know there was a scoreboard, but
Did my
okay.
interview with Brittany drop on my channel yet? No?
what's
Are
that?
you asking
Did
something?
my interview with Brittany drop on my channel yet?
I
Yeah.
didn't see it. I
Yeah, it
thought-
was like
Yeah, I missed
last
it.
week or something like that.
Okay, because we were talking about the difference between Trello and Jira, and I arrived at the conclusion that Trello is like playing Mario in 2D, and Jira is playing Mario in 3D. Because it's open world, you can go anywhere. Versus Trello is very side scroller.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to watch that.
You should watch it. It's a great interview.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Question number 4, and this question was chosen by our Jeremigo Andy Gladstone.
So you better do him good. Right?
Now I'm nervous.
Who's your idea of the ideal Scrum Master, Yoda or Dumbledore?
I'm gonna have to go with Yoda. I am a huge Harry Potter fan. See, on the water bottle and everything. But I would have to go with Yoda because I thought that he was a much better teacher and did not put the kids in bad situations all the time.
I haven't seen Harry Plopper, and I hear this is a common theme apparently.
And apparently, I answered right.
I'm gonna go. My brother-in-law's in the alley right now. What do they call it? That alley where they go? The shopping
Alley
area.
House.
Oh, Diagon Alley.
That
Oh,
one.
Diagon Alley. Oh, yeah.
They have a replica Universal Studio, so it's under peer pressure to go.
It's very cool. Universal Studios. Very
I want to
cool.
go ride Mario.
That too. Very cool. I have not done that, but I have been to Hogwarts, so have been to the Harry Potter land.
Ed Gill's in the house.
Ed Gale's in the house. Because he's there for the meeting we're having after the show. So.
Uh oh. I'm getting
All
this
right.
Slack message from
Which means,
Brittany.
yeah, we are kind of running a little bit over as we often do. Which means question number 5. I happen to know that you are on your way to Alaska to beat the heat.
Yep.
So this question is in honor of that. In Alaska, there are 4 interstate highways. They're A1, A2, A3, and A4.
That's it.
Why on earth do they exist? Why would you have an interstate highway in Alaska?
I have no idea because there is no interstate.
Isn't the same thing? I heard Hawaii has an interstate as well.
It does. You
Hawaii
are
does.
that.
But I just
No
and
state
I chose to
highway.
do the Alaskan flavor of it. Yes. So why is
Is there a real answer? Because I do not know it.
no, it's just
Yeah, no, I have no idea. No idea. But yes, I am going on an Alaska cruise. I have 3 days of work left, and then I will be in Anchorage for a couple days, on the cruise for 7 days, and in Vancouver for 2 days, and Victoria for 1 day. And then unfortunately,
120 degrees again.
what?
And then 120 degrees again.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'll have to come back to my life. Yeah,
Up in Southern California for another month.
super excited.
Cool. Well, Miss Summer, thank you so much for being here with us. That was it, right? That was the 5th one?
that was it. That was the 5th one.
Thank you, Summer, so much.
So important programming note. Next week is the 4th of July. We do not have a guest. What we're probably going to be doing, we'll probably have a clip show. We're going to show some highlights of the Jira Life, and hopefully don't get our fingers blown off setting off firecrackers or fireworks. So until then, I am King Pop, the producer. Summer, thank you for coming on. Alex, thank you for not kicking me out. And with that, I guess I get to I don't know. You say it.
Sorry. Cut it out myself.
Oh, Alex.
Oh, Alex. You don't want to say it? No, we didn't choose the Jira
No,
Life.
I can never say it. So
All right, so I'm going to say it. We didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us. Catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Jira Life. Our hosts are Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy, Nissen. You can find Alex on YouTube at 8Tech Tutorials, and Rodney's blog is found over at thejiraguy.com. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lina Ortiz. You can catch us live as we record this podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira Life. Be sure to join us and our other Jira Amigos of the Peanut Gallery every week to ask your questions, let us know your comments, and just tell us what you're up to. But if you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. We're also available